Avasarai Bante, we have received 6 questions today. Report number 1. Morning sitting meditation, first session. My mind was focused only for very small moments. It was continuously going elsewhere and returning. Twice I was distracted for longer periods. Sitting meditation, second session. Mind was still going away and returning, but focus was slightly better. Walking meditation. Focus was on the body for longer periods, but seemed to notice and remember other things at the same time. Question. I walked up and down several times before stopping and scanning the body. Is that okay?
Before scanning the body. Mere walking, actually that is how we start with. But later, after say 2-3 minutes, you need to select a particular place or particular kind of a sensation which is quite obvious, prominent, and that is where we are trying to establish mindfulness. So at the beginning, it's very much like we are trying to tame the mind by using mindfulness, because otherwise mind get distracted. Various sights are there, sounds are there, and here particularly various thoughts are there, our memories are there, expectations are there. All are in a way intruding the mind, disturbing the mind. So what we do is, as much as possible, we are trying to keep our attention on a particular sensation. Some sort of an attention onto your foot. So that's the easiest way. Because if we promote ongoing thinking, inner chatter, then we never going to win. So what we have to do is, again and again, as much as possible, whenever your foot is touching the ground, there's a gross sensation. We all can feel it. Quite obvious sensation is there. Maybe hardness, maybe roughness. If you are simply walking on the sand path, maybe kind of a very hard, rough kind of a sensation is there. Use it as a reminder to your mind to stay there, come there, rather than simply wandering here and there. Allow the mind to again and again establish mindfulness onto your foot. And more you do that, it's a kind of an interruption to your ongoing thinking. And later this thinking becomes weaker and weaker, and the body awareness becomes stronger and stronger. So that's a mere awareness. It is not that you think about it, rather you simply being aware of that. You are paying attention to a place where you can really feel, you can really recognize, verify. So that is where the kind of a change happens in ourselves. Because otherwise we are tempted to think, continuously think. Now rather than that, we are now trying to be aware of what we feel. So that is the kind of a strategy that we are using. So hope you understand.
If the yogi needs to discuss further, please raise your hand.
Yeah.
Report number 2. Thero Saranai. Sitting meditation. Body tries to lean back. I have to consciously bring back to a straight position. This hinders my concentration. Question. At home, should I practice sitting meditation without leaning back? Example, to a wall.
To a wall.
So, she has written walking meditation as well. Walking meditation. While walking, if I am in a thoughtless or signless state of mind, should I still try to move on to elements meditation? Thank you.
Oh yeah. I'll ask the second question, answer the second question first. So if you are able to go into the signless state, so while being there, it's not necessary for your attention to put to your foot, basically. Then you are again making a sign, you are promoting a sign. Because when your foot is touching the ground, there are certain signs are there, some sensations are there. Now what I have said earlier is quite opposite. So for a beginner, that is a must in a way. So we are paying attention to the signs, we are paying attention to some object, your sensation. So that is necessary, because otherwise the mind starts wandering. But as you are growing, where the Satipatthana has helped you to make the mind completely free from any attachment, at least temporary, without having any sign. So promote that. You may be simply walking. There are maybe various sights available, but you are not particularly paying attention to anything. There may be various sounds available, but you are not particularly paying attention to anything. Similarly, there are various sensations throughout because you are walking, but you are not particularly paying attention to any of the sensations either. That's the point. So, very beautifully actually Buddha mentioned about the signless concentration, animitta ceto samadhi. So, there are the strategies not paying attention to anything at all, but paying attention to the signless. That's also something, signless. So, you know what it is. So, once you are there, you know what it is. Otherwise, it's difficult to explain also, because so without a sign, how can I pay attention? So, you might ask the question, but it's possible. Not logical, but it is possible. That's the interesting part. So sometimes our vocabulary is beyond the practical explanation. So you think that it's always I need an object, always I need a sign to pay attention. It's not. So once you reach through Satipatthana the signless state, okay, you can simply keep the mind at signless state, ignoring all the signs. Various signs are available. That doesn't mean that you don't get signs. You may get signs. You are vulnerable to signs. Various sights are there, sounds are there, touch sensations are there. Time to time thoughts also might come, but you are not paying attention to them, but you are paying attention to signless. So, hope you understand. Otherwise, you can raise your hand. We can further discuss. Yeah. Okay, I know.
That paying attention to, not paying attention to anything and paying attention to nothing, it's sort of that's also like a thing. Through our thoughts, we come to that point, isn't it?
Yeah, at the beginning it's intentional.
Yes.
It's true. That's why when we discuss about the signless state, signless samadhi, animitta samadhi, so there are few requisites there. So one thing is that you first have to make a kind of a determination, kind of a intention. Okay, I am now paying attention to that. I am doing so. Kind of an activity level. You are at first you have an intention that is necessary. Then you are not paying attention to anything at all. That's another action. Then paying attention to signless is the other action. So that is how we have to start. So in that sense, it's also conditioned. It's also conditioned. So that's why in Chula Sunyata Sutta, Buddha asks us to see how conditioned it is. Now when at certain given moment, it might get interrupted. Again, the mind start picking up signs. In that way, you see still your mind is not completely pure. Certain vulnerability is there. Certain conditioned phenomena, time to time, come and interrupt. So such thing is there. Actually, it's a kind of a background we are using, kind of a foundation we are using to recognize all these minimal activities. Because here we are getting a very, very soft, very pure environment for us to see things as they truly are. So even the subtle things, very refined things. So you can easily see how things are going on, how again mind is tempted to go to something. What are the still impurities available? What are the subtle defilements available? And all that we can easily see, because we are now well grounded in this kind of a pure base in a way, kind of a reference. So therefore, to attain that, at the beginning it is very much like an intentional activity. But the interesting thing is, more and more, as you are familiar with it, so then you are not. It is not necessary to intentionally be there. You are there, something like that. So it becomes the norm of the mind. It becomes your natural home of the mind. Say for example, assume that there's a cow or ox that you are using on your cart, and you are again and again taking him to a particular place, and again bring it back to home. Again you are going, again bring it back to home. Again going to the fair, again bring it back. Again going to the fair, again bring it back. Say you continue that task for 1 year. then what happened? Assume that next day, so assume that you simply you were in the cart, and even later you get down, the ox might do the same thing. It might return back to the home without you. Our mind is same. So our mind doesn't have any person as such. So it's a kind of a habits are governing the mind. Now here we are developing a kind of a habit to stay quiet, stay relaxed, stay unattached, stay boundless in a way, and without an object, without a sign. And once it becomes a norm, so mind comes to that easily, and you don't need to interrupt, you don't need to intervene. At the beginning you need to show the path, yes. Yeah.
Bhante, first part of that question was that she anxiously adjusts her posture.
So, can you repeat that part? I have a short memory.
Sitting meditation. Body tries to lean back. I have to consciously bring back to a straight position. This hinders my concentration. At home, should I practice sitting meditation without leaning back? Example.
No, not necessary. You can lean back, no problem. Because what is necessary is the kind of comfort, kind of relaxed atmosphere, and again lifting up, again adjusting your posture could be a hindrance, could be a disturbance to this process, because you can't worry about the body now. So you are so concerned about the situation of the mind. So again and again interruption coming through the body is a disturbance. So better avoid that. So keep the body relaxed, quiet, and say you are leaning, and so that you know exactly, okay, there is no harm, there is no any risk. Even if I fall asleep, it won't fall into a kind of a dangerous situation. So the whole body is fairly safe. Then you can continue totally with your mind, because you have to totally let go of the body.
Report number 3. Most respected Bhante, I am an adult having lot of responsibilities. But when practicing meditation, especially when joining retreats, I feel I am going to my childhood. It is just like forgetting around 30 years in my life. Is it a natural thing while practicing meditation? Please advise. Thero and Sarana.
Yeah, welcome to the Montessori. So you are welcome to, and there's a beautiful song. වැටකොටු බැමි නැති මුරකාවල් නැති අපේම අපේලොක්. Nothing is there. So there is no grudges, there are no hindrances, there are no boundaries, no limitations. You are free, utterly free. So that's an interesting thing actually. So it is not, actually our childhood is very innocent. So we were in a very innocent childhood, and later we corrupted ourselves, polluted our minds by going through a lot of things, by going through many things. So the meditation helps us to come to that innocence. So that is where, we need to understand it is not that we are trying to become kind of completely further conditioning the mind or corrupting the mind, further, congesting the mind. Rather, you are asked to invited to free the mind. Nothing is there basically. So no grudges, no memories even. And you are fully open and again fully innocent. Because there is nothing to protect, no one to protect, no body is there. It's a very, very interesting path actually. So that's so what you are saying is very correct, very true. So the mindfulness practice, our spiritual practice help us to come to that innocence. So actually we have lost that paradise in a way. Thinking that we think, okay, as we are progressing, as we are becoming adults, so we are growing, we become more knowledgeable and we become wise. But in the spiritual sense, we are fixing ourselves. We are, in a way, stereotyping ourselves, framing ourselves. Ultimately, we can't even move. We are into certain fixations. You are stuck there, and you become someone very strong. Conceit is there. You don't know how to correct yourself, and you have a lot of grudges what you have gone through your life, and many expectations. Even you are looking forward. Many issues actually. Ultimately, we become completely cracked, mentally cracked. That's not going to work in a way. So the spiritual path, in a way, the mindfulness practice, help us to come back to that, what we had. So there we are again very relaxed, no tension, no stress, and more free, and you are ready to accept your own faults, and ready to amend yourself, ready to, further develop yourself, and you feel that I am deserving it now. So you are sympathizing yourself, compassionate to yourself, because there is no other way. So therefore what you are telling is exactly correct. So that's it. So that's why, so basically you can see, even if during the Buddha's time, certain arahants they became arahants at their childhood. It is not that people need to be extremely knowledgeable and they have to go through the whole lifespan to become arahants. Arahants were very children-like. Say Venerable Sopaka. At his childhood he became an arahant. And then Venerable Sunita also, I think, may be a child. Then Pandita Samanera is another story. He's a child, he became an arahant. So many things are there. And what's that? Adimutta Samanera is another arahant. So very stunning kind of a situation has happened to him. So actually while he was traveling through the forest, bandits actually has captured him for giving as a prey. And he was not afraid, he was not surprised, and he was ready going to go through it. And the robbers, bandits were quite surprised by seeing his behavior. And he is telling really beautiful stanzas. All are recorded in this Theragatha, Adimutta Theragatha. Very, very beautiful, really inspiring. And you see how beautiful they are, their minds are, how brave they are in a way, at their childhood even. So therefore it is not it's a kind of an age-related thing, this one. Rather it's a kind of in a way we can say, kind of a potential we are gathering from our past lives even. And again, if we are coming through to the teaching in this life, how quickly we have come across to that, and then how honestly we are practicing, then the path is open.
Report number 4, Avasarai Venerable Bhante. Seated meditation. Kept attention on the breath. Different body pain started to appear. For example, a pain in my right eye was observed. Was able to separate the pain and the mind that sees the pain. Realized the mind was pain-free. There was a sense of relief at this point. Walking meditation.
Can you repeat the last statement?
Realized the mind was pain-free. There was a sense of relief at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Walking meditation. I was feeling a bit lethargic. After starting the walking meditation, I felt better. Kept a general awareness on the sensations of the foot. Felt quite relaxed. There was generally less thoughts. That's all.
Yeah, nothing to correct basically. So you understood the point and you are simply practicing. You need to continue. Nothing much to add. Paper?
Report number 5.
Yeah.
Most respected Bhante. Tomorrow I have an exam and started to do a few studies this week. Although I did not pay much attention to the studies, I do not have any I do not have any tension for the exam, and most of the time my mind is very calm and relaxed. When reading the study notes, it gets blurred after reading few pages and not interesting to read and not absorbed too. Sometimes felt the mind is not moving and it is like stopped. When paying attention to the body, sometimes easily can identify non-stop vibrations in the elements, within brackets dhatu, even when opening the eyes, and sometimes felt very calm and relaxed state. During the walking meditation in last few days, managed to walk without thoughts and it was very peaceful and relaxed. Sometimes felt emptiness, within brackets, to some extent, at the end of the walking part too. Sitting meditation also calm and managed to just be. Reduce the sudden shocks in the body and enjoy the peace. During last few days, trying to maintain a calm mind, though there were some urgent tasks to do in the office. Enjoy inner peace during the free time and continuously postpone studies. To change the mode from deliberately talk a lot to settle down to occupy with studies. Even after talking also, no inner chatter and not getting interest to recall the studies. Today morning, after following guided meditation, I got blanked for few hours. Everything was blurred. Example, Buddha statue, trees, food plate, and no any interest come to have foods too. Enjoy few sitting meditations very peacefully. Most respected Bhante, I kindly requesting further advice. Please, Thero Nissarana.
Yeah, one thing is you need to balance. So, say if you sit longer, so there the concentration definitely develop. But if we are not properly balancing, so this signless concentration become kind of an absorption. It can become a type of an absorption, so you become stuck to that, and it hasn't happened yet, so it can even govern the body. So that is not advisable. That's not a suitable thing. So therefore, balance. Say don't sit longer. Limit it to 1 hour, and then get up and just walk. And while walking, also maintain the balance, maintain the emptiness while looking around. So you can simply look around, but mind may not distract. Mind doesn't want to get involved, but you are completely relaxing yourself. Complete awareness is there. I mean, very much like assume that, so your body and mind has nothing, and then wind blows, how you might feel. It may like go through the body, right? It's very much like a porous, something porous. It is not a solid rock-like thing, but something porous, then it is going through. Something like that. So you are simply going through, you are simply navigating. Nothing is there. Just enjoying the peace, just enjoying the silence. That's it. So that is much better than sitting and, so once you close your eyes, sitting, sometimes it can lead to some deep concentrations. And there you can even stuck in the concentration. That is also not a good thing. And again, if you go into a concentrated state, so it start kind of manipulating the body. That's not a good thing. So before it happens, now I am sort of warning. So limit your sitting to 1 hour. Can you pass the mic?
අවසරයි බන්ත.
Yeah.
අවසරයි බන්ත. I am not sitting long hours.
Right.
Within
What is the longest time you sit?
Now that this blood is coming quickly.
Sorry, can't hear properly. Now hold it like this.
Blood is coming very quickly.
What coming? Blurring.
Blurring. That sitting meditation I am not doing too much. Normally I am walking 30 minutes and doing 30 minutes sitting, and again changing like
that should be fine.
Do.
Yeah, that should be fine.
But today I don't know. Entire 2 hours
nothing is there.
Nothing is there.
It's okay. It's okay. Basically, But the point is, there's a little disadvantage in the concentration point of view, because say when fair amount of concentration is there, it hinders the mind from getting to anything, getting to any kind of a thought at all. But later you may understand, okay, I mean, in order to progress, actually we need to see the defilements. We need to understand what are the still stagnated, hidden tendencies are there in the mind. So in order to recognize hidden tendencies, you need to go through some events, you need to go through some activities, certain disturbances, and how the mind reacts during those disturbances. So you have said now, say after talking, again you can calm down the mind. Now previously we didn't have that, right? Now we understand, okay, even after talk, mind becomes silent. So this is a kind of a progress that we are sort of moving forward, we are acquiring. So likewise, now talking is something we have to particularly stop. That's what we are encouraging the people to become silent. But later you understand, even the talking does not disturb the silence. Inner silence is more stronger. Even though you talk, still the mind is silent in a way. So that's a very beautiful way that Thero mentioned in this Concept and Reality book. So he says the Muni, the sage, is silent not only he is not talking, he is silent even when he is talking. It's like a kind of a contradiction, right? It's a different way of telling it. That's very true. So Buddha is silent not only he is meditating, but even when he is teaching, he is silent. So likewise, this inner silence becomes a very beautiful inner quality. So it is not that we have to be in a deep samadhi to be there. So that's why I prefer to encourage. So once we are fairly established in the signless state, I prefer to encourage yogis to let it break. Let it go through some activities. You engage with this and that and see whether you can still retain there. How quickly you can take it back. So if we are unable to take it back, that means, still we are going through some disturbances, still we are thinking about what has happened. Again, rajas are there, again you are, he did that. So likewise, you are still going through some personal issues. Defilements are there. So more we are free from defilements, you can quickly come there. So likewise, so it's a kind of a self-assessment that we are going through. By allowing it to break, you engage with other activities, you move with some difficult people and see how the mind reacts. So then only you can understand, okay, here again I am not strong enough. Here again I got trapped. Again I got really, disturbed. I have to amend myself. So that is how we are maturing in a way. That is how we are reinforcing ourselves. Not by completely cutting off everyone and, finding our private space and every time don't disturb me, I am meditating. So that is not the way forward actually. The way forward has to be always that we are becoming more and more matured amidst all difficulties. Then we can say, okay, now the mind is fairly seasoned, fairly reinforced. I can bear with any situation. Even someone is blaming, still the mind is not reacting in a way. Not easy, isn't it? Not easy. Now, we need to understand how the Arahants actually have. We are not Arahants, so please understand that. So we have to go into that direction. So you know that there's a very interesting incident happened during the Buddha's time. Now, King Kosala came to meet the Buddha. And while he was with the discussion with the Buddha, and there were some people walking on the path, walking on the road. And he quickly said, Buddha, Bhante, there are some Arahants going on, so please allow me to go and pay respect. And few of them were there, and he immediately went there and paid respect to them and returned back. King Kosala. And then he came back and reported, Bhante, they are really Arahants, so this and that. And so he put them in a very high place. And then Buddha said, you can't recognize Arahants like that. You can't recognize Arahants like that. And he gave a kind of a criteria. One thing is you have to associate that person for a long time. And you also have to be very vigilant, very wise. You can't, if there's even an Arahant being associated by a fool for a long time, this fool can't understand. That's another story I'll tell you later. So you have to be also a wise person to understand. Even though you are not an Arahant, you have to be a wise person to understand, to recognize. That's another point. And again, that Arahant has to go through some really difficult situations. And then the person observing, the investigator, has to see how he is reacting, behaving on those difficult situations. Then only you can assess, there's a difference, there's a change in his character. Accordingly, you can say, maybe he has a difference in his mind. So then actually King Kosala reported to Buddha, yes Bhante, they are not Arahants. They are my, what's that, Ottukarana mokadda kiyanne? Spies, yeah, they are my spies. So they have gone to, very far away kingdoms to spy on behalf of my kingdom. So I am paying them to spy at various places. Now they are returning back. And after they go back home, they remove all these clothes. They are wearing the clothes of a saint kind of a thing. But once they return back to home, they remove them and they sleep with their wife and all that. They are not Arhants. They behave like. So therefore, the important thing I want to highlight is that in that particular place Buddha highlights, so one has to go through some difficult situation, then only he can see how the mind is reacting. Otherwise, things are very smooth, really smooth. That there's a beautiful story that one servant being, actually there's a servant and her, what's that, maid? Not maid, mistress, right? So that mistress is, I can't remember her name. Can anybody remember? This is a Dhammapada story, I think. So that mistress becomes fairly renowned, telling that she's a really good, kind lady. And then this maid want to check it. Okay, so one day she get up a little late. So the mistress staying, just snared at her and saying, why did you late? Just not much, right? So next day also the maid want to check her. Even further late. She got up even further late. And little, talk came from the mistress and not happy about what she has done. Maybe the next day, the third day, she was really late and this lady got really upset, really mad and used something, smashed on her head. With bleeding head, now she is running through the city telling, okay, this woman is not really a kind woman. So till your maid is really, doing things properly as you want, you are a kind lady. Ask her to do a mistake and see how you react. So servants are sometimes very helpful. Showing us our true nature. Actually, before I became a monk, so my mother being looked after by one lady, because my mother suffered through Parkinson. So those people gave me a real trouble. It's boiling on those days actually. So those are really good situations for us to see ourselves. And another best thing is nowadays is to travel through a traffic, how people are cutting this way, that way, and how you are managing it. So that's another very good environment for you to test yourself. How your mind is reacting when someone is cutting off on a three-wheeler coming in, or motorbike passing you from the wrong side, and when someone is snaring at you and blaming you, and all that happens during the road. So how your mind is reacting? Can you quickly calm down yourself? Or you are keep on thinking about why he has behaving like this? Is it doing the correct thing? I am the correct one. He's wrong. So all that, how the mind start reacting. So if you are simply traveling in a very smooth road, you are a good driver. So the incidents are very helpful. So don't think that they are troubling us. So they are troubling at the beginning. It's true that you need a very quiet, peaceful environment for us to grow. But later, those disturbances are helping us to recognize our own defilements, still shortcomings, and then slowly remove them and reinforcing ourselves. So come to that area now. Yeah.
Actually, Bhante, every day I am experiencing that at office.
Good. That's why don't stop work. So go back to home, go back to work every day. That's another reinforcement. Yeah.
No, but I didn't get your point on regarding that blood in these things.
You mean during the concentration?
Yeah.
So that's why now this has something. So this has some water. So I can't show you the thing. Now assume that I am holding a little ball and it is being attached to a string. Now I can assume now it is here, somewhere here. Now is it attached to anything? No, right? So assume that I am immersing it little bit, not yet touching the bottom. Now it is in the middle. Say, is it attached to anything? No. But it has some protection coming through the wall. Right? Assume that you are further immersing it. Now it is touching the bottom. Now is it free now? No, it is touching the bottom. So the concentration is very much like this. So this is my way of understanding, by the way. So not in a book, so you need to further check it anyway. So more we go deeper, sometimes you may touch the bottom, kind of stuck in it. Internally stuck. So it is in the book actually. So in the concentration, in the jhana, there is a situation you internally stuck. Ajjattang santithanti uchati. So internally you stuck. You can't waver. You can't. You are not free in a way. So concentration has sort of locked your mind. But say here, say I'm just keeping it here, nothing is there. So basically completely free, but very vulnerable. No protection at all. So the protection comes through the samadhi at the beginning. So that's why. So we need a kind of a concentration protection at the beginning. Otherwise, it is very difficult. But later we need to allow the mind to be in a shallow level, not in a deep concentrated level, but in a shallow level and see whether I can maintain it. So now say for example, you started experiencing silence maybe while sitting, just for example. Because say the environment is very calm, no sounds, and your eyes are closed, no disturbance coming through your eyes, mind is concentrated, and now the mind becomes free, nothing is there. Now, once you go to the walking path, difficult, because sounds are there, the sights are there, touching is there, you are walking, very difficult. But later you understand, okay, that is where I am maturing. Disturbances are there, so still mind reacting. But later you understand, okay, now that is also possible. While your eyes are open, while the body is walking, still mind is empty. No problem. It's very much like you are keeping it here, isn't it? There is no much protection coming through the concentration, but the mind is vulnerable but protected. But it has the capacity now to maintain its clarity, maintain its silence amidst all these disturbances. So that is where we are growing. So therefore, say while talking, can you keep the mind quiet? After talking, can you make yourself quickly quiet? And after an incident, can you keep yourself quickly quiet? Now say for example, someone has blamed you, someone has neglected you, someone has ignored you, disrespected you. So these are the instances that we quickly get disturbed, quickly get hurt. So after you being hurt, how quickly you can recover yourself? How quickly you can return back to emptiness? Without having thoughts, without having, bitter thoughts about that particular person. How dare he did that? So like that we are starting the chatter, no? So without going to that, how quickly I can back in the silence? That says something. That says the improvement. That may, rather than you go to a silence on a covered place. So if you can become silent, amidst the noise, then that is something. Hope you got the point. We'll see. Because now the point is to recognize defilements. So use this ground, use this as a reference to recognize defilements and slowly abandon them and more and more releasing yourself. Yeah. Take care about your back pain.
Report number 6. Dear Bhante, Buddha Saranai. It has 3 items. Item number 1. Sometimes my mind tends to get the attention from others by wearing nice clothes and so on. How can I get rid of this lobha moha sit?
You should wear the clothes, by the way. So the Nigantas, they completely take out the clothes. So don't do that. Now, here there is no fashions, no, just everybody wearing the white clothes. So, but by the way, you understanding that is a good thing. So we are using clothes to get someone else's attention, someone else's attraction. So later, say if you know that, so start wearing some simple clothing. So you don't have a purpose to attract others by wearing clothes, but properly cover yourself and wear the suitable clothes. It doesn't mean, I don't want to say that, say if you are going to a wedding that you have to wear a sarong. if you are into a particular place, accordingly you wear your clothes. That's it. So we don't want to be a special people. To show yourself, I am a really simple person. Even in this, really, how to say? Assume that's a real board meeting or something like that. Even to that, you are wearing you are going with slippers and all that. Not necessary. We don't need to show, telling that I am a real simple person, even or this, I don't care. I think that is, we are going to the extreme. That is not the point. So we don't need to highlight ourselves from even the simplicity. No need. I can remember sometimes people are simply wearing the natural things. Others may not know, what is the mentality they have. You behave the same like the others. No difference. But you know where you are. That's it. If you know, that's enough. So therefore don't think that, but purposely don't wear to attract others because it is not necessary. And simply wear the clothes to cover yourself and appropriate to that occasion.
Number 2, my mind still finding places to go for picnics with my kids. I know according to Trilakshana there's no happy place on this earth to get permanent fulfillment. Do I need to avoid it by thinking that it's just a mere thought? I feel I'm losing my time because of apramadaya. Or do I need to think about the Trilakshana? Please advise.
Actually, if you are a mother, you need to think about your children also. and say if you basically, as we just discussed about the emptiness and all that kind of results. So if you are able to come to that, then simply be with your children, no problem. Because that's another kind of an experience that you may go through. So while being with children, can you be a child? You can simply be a child rather than, now we already started our discussion how we are going back to our childhood, something like that. So your children may be helpful to come back to that childhood in a way. And if they are enjoying the situation and giving them a chance, I don't think that you are wasting time. But you need to remember about your practice, by the way, because still I have something to do, still I have more to go. You are concerned about your practice, but later slowly you may understand, okay, I can be with my children, no harm. Still even though sometimes they do this and that which I can't approve, still I am not internally hurt. So, I mean, not only children, I mean, every situation is like this. Now, just to share with you some information about myself, say in the monastery, so many difficult situations I myself going through, because many issues are there sometimes. So we have to take care of the Samaneras, and now they are going for the Upasampada in few days. We have to train them, and some monks are assigned to train them, and some upasakas are there on the upper monastery to meditate, and sometimes we have to attend them, and there are many complaints sometimes coming in, certain disagreements happen, and then say today a retreat starts, so 10 monks are coming but no space, enough space. Yesterday actually, I was little fed up in a way. So many things sometimes coming, so many things. Oh, something like that. So, this in a way, the way that we are going through, so this is our life. So can we go through it? So that's what I later understood. I mean, so those stressful situations are strengthening us. So if we simply try to escape everything and hide ourselves, that is also not really going to mature us. So if you are able to mature yourself going through these hardships, that is where the success is. So you can see, I mean, even in the material realm, in the, say, whatever the realm, so the people who went through hardships, went through from difficult situations, and they become more successful. So the spiritual life is also similar. So it is not that you become free from defilements merely instantaneously. Rather, we recognize kind of a calm, peaceful state, but how to maintain that amidst all these difficulties. So that would be more powerful.
Third part, are all of us inside fire? Within brackets, getting old, decaying, old age end up in loneliness. I never thought life is like this. Thanks to precious gem Buddhism, finally realized that at the age of 38.
At the age of 38. Good. You are not yet old. You have some more time, please be heedful. And basically that's the interesting thing. So once we recognize the path, then we have some alternative. So we have a solution. That's something to be happy. So that's why I always encourage you to be happy while you are meditating, because it's a very precious time we all get, because others don't have it. So they are engaged with so much of things. Sometimes they never have the chance to recognize the path, even to practice, even to take care of themselves. But we, on the other hand, are quite fortunate to have spent time with ourselves, to understand ourselves, and finding a solution. And if you have found at least a little solution, be happy about it and enjoy that. Live up to that. Yeah, that's all. Okay, that's all we have received today. So if you have any more things to discuss, so we have a few more minutes. Yeah.
Avasaraya Bhante, this is regarding the discussion we had earlier, the second question about the stillness, animitta samadhi, thoughtlessness.
Right.
And now that is more or less, as she discussed, spoke about, like, it is also conditioned way, state.
Yeah.
Is it a samatha state, or is it samadhi after vipassana, you mean it?
Very interesting question. By the way, it's very much like a samatha.
It is like samatha. My question.
Because the point is, we reach there through vipassana, by the way.
Yeah.
We arrive there through vipassana practice. Now it is very much like we are maintaining it like a samatha samadhi.
Yeah.
No harm at all. So you can refer Salayatana Vibhanga Sutta. So there beautifully Buddha mentioned that. So so there are the process he is talking about coming through the Vedana, the Vedanupasana like. So you are abandoning the sensual happiness, the mundane kind of happiness, using the spiritual kind of happiness. And you are abandoning the sensuality related domanassa, the despair, using the spirituality related little domanassa. So likewise, slowly you arrive this signless state, empty state, and there it is still the path dependent, your practice dependent. Say if you went through Kayanupassana, then your state of mind somewhat dependent on the path. If you came through Vedanupassana, your result dependent on the path. If you went through Chittanupassana, again the result has dependent on that. So by the way, once you live to this result more and more, now you don't need the path. Now you don't need the path in the sense that now you don't need these different practices now, because you are here. Like say you are using ladder to climb to a tree or a building. So once you are there, now you don't need the ladder, something like that. Now you are free from the ladder, you are independent from the ladder. Now it's a matter of maintaining that state. So this is very much like a samatha now. So there Buddha even refer it with respect to the arupa samadhi. What's this boundless space, boundless consciousness, boundless nothingness, and the neither perception nor non-perception.
Any particular sutta referring to?
Yeah, Salayatana Vibhanga Sutta. Salayatana Vibhanga Sutta. So Salayatana Vibhanga Sutta. So the result is very much like equal to samatha concentration, arupa samadhi. But the point is, while being here, so there he gave a special name, upekha ekatta sita. It's a kind of a unity, not a diversity. Previously they are kind of diverse, methods are there to arrive at this, but now it is kind of a unity. So now you simply be there, stay there. It's a matter of maintaining that like a samatha samadhi. You don't need to much worry, you simply be there.
Okay, my question was like, now we practice to become a stream. So to become a Sotapanna, we have to let go of our Sakkaya Ditthi. So that is, little by little, we are improving Ragakya, Doshakya, Mohakya, Raga, Dosha, Moha. So that,
sorry, can you repeat?
Now, to become a stream winner, we need to let go of, for Ragakya, Doshakya, Mohakya. So Raga, Dosha, Moha, we have to little by little eradicate. Correct. So that means latent defilements we have to eradicate little by little.
Correct.
So my question is, by staying in that state for a long time, like now I'm talking about me, not about anyone else, at this age of life, if I come to that stage and stay my rest of my life, now I say I achieve it and then I stay, when am I going to eradicate? No, not Sotapanna. When I'm going to start eradicating my latent defilements. Does it help me to eradicate my latent defilements, staying thoughtless state? That is my question.
Okay, good. So burning question many people are having. So actually very true. It is. So you can refer, you don't need to go to a long exploration, you can simply refer even the Madhupindika Sutta. So there Buddha mentioned, if you are able to maintain Nippapancha, state of non-proliferation, that itself helpful to overcome latent tendencies. That, I can't remember the statement,
in Madhupindika Sutta, Swami.
Yeah, Madhupindika Sutta, there's a very beautiful statement that Buddha made to the Sangha. So after returning back that discussion with the Dandapani, then Buddha later came to the Sangha and he further explained.
Tunnan Sangati Passo, Passapacha Vedana.
Not that part. Not that part. Can you... So the point is, one way of practice is the Nippapancha. So as much as possible, minimize proliferation, minimize conceptual proliferation. So that itself is a very strong way to minimize anusaya. So I'll prove that with the Buddha's words. Give me a second. And then, say, while maintaining what we just discussed, the emptiness, okay? So that itself is another way of achieving even the arahanthood, not just the sotapanna. So you can refer the Chabbisoddana Sutta. The Chabbisoddana Sutta, actually that's a very interesting sutta, where Buddha asked, someone is declaring himself as an arahant. Okay, Buddha is giving, okay, you better ask these questions from him. Then his answer could be like this. So he has already given the answer, so people can pretend like arahants. So basically, so there you can say, the very beautiful he says, Ditta Sutta Mutta Viññāta. So with respect to all this information, how the mind was maintained. Right, this is the Madhupindika Sutta statement. Yato nidanam bhikkhu purisang papancha sanya sanka samuda charanti ettache natti abhinanditabbang natti abhivaditabbang natti ajjose tabbang esevanto raganusayatam esevanto patighanusayanam esevanto ditthanusayanam esevanto vichikicchanusayanam esevanto mananusayanam esevanto bhavaraganusayanam esevanto avijjanusayanam. All the list is there. So the point highlighted is, now there's a situation that typical person would go and proliferate. Suppose there's a beautiful scene where a normal person, uninstructed worldly person, immediately get into thoughts, get into thinking, get into proliferation. But there is a person, he doesn't have that at all, in such a vulnerable state. Yato nidanam bhikkhu purisam papanya sanya sanka samuda charanti ettache natti abhinanditabbang. So in this person has no any kind of a delight in that situation. There is no any kind of a welcoming, any inner chatter, nothing at all, no adherence at all. His mind remains free from all that. That is a path to overcome all these anusayas. That is one area. Another thing is, I have just mentioned about the Chabbisoddana Sutta. So the situation is where Buddha giving a criteria. So when someone has declared, okay, I am an arahant, so Buddha say, okay, you go and ask. So how he has become an arahant? So this is the path he may explain. There's another path he may explain. Another path he may explain. So likewise, different, not just one path. So different paths are there. So just I want to give one thing. Say. Let's take one example. Right. Katan janato panayasmato katam passato imesu chatusu voharesu anupadaya asavehi chittang vimuttanti. Now Buddha is telling, okay, now there through the eyes you can see, through the ear you can hear, through the nose, tongue, body you can sense, and through the mind you can know various mental objects. And with respect to this kind of a situation, how you have behaved? So this is the question. And then, so he is answering. Now the so-called arahant is now saying, Ditteko ahang auso, anupayo, anapayo, anissito, appatibatto, vipamutto, visanyutto, vimariyadi katena chetasa viharami. Now what it says is, Ditteko auso, with respect to all the sides, okay, all the sides, how I have behaved, how I have restrained myself. Ditteko ahang auso, anupayo. Anupayo means that you are unattached. Upayo means you being attached, you being attracted, you get engaged. But here the opposite. There are sides, but the mind is unattached. And anapayo means you are not having any repulsion also. You are not being disturbed and panicked and frightened and something like that. You are quiet, silent, balanced. Ditteko ahang auso anupayo anapayo anissito. And you are not holding that, you are not standing on that. Anissito, completely free from that. Anissito, appatibaddo, no lingering with it, there is no bondage with it. Appatibaddo, vipamutto, completely free. Vipamutto, visanyutto, and no defiled state in your mind with respect to that, visanyutto. Vimariyadi katena cetasa. And your mind is not being limited because of that sight, but your mind is still open. Vimariyadi katena cetasa. No maryada. Maryada is a limit, kind of boundary. When assume that there are, say, 100 people are there. Say you are going to pick your child from your college after the school. Now, when your child come in front of you, immediately your mind go and fix onto that. Okay, this is my son. This is my daughter. What has happened to him? So your mind get restricted, right? Previously, your mind somewhat open. You are searching where is my child. Now, once the moment that you recognize him, now you are being fixed, hooked with that particular sight. So the sight has the capacity to kind of constrain our mind, our vision. But now, Vimariyadi katena cetasa means your mind is completely boundless, no boundary at all, with the ditta. Means while in front of you, you can see things, but the mind is limitless, boundless. So, Vimariyadi katena cetasa viharami. So this is how I was doing. So similarly, he refer sutta, mutta, viññāta, all that. Evaṁ meko avuso jānato evaṁ passato imesu chatusu voharesu anupadāya āsavehi cittaṁ vimuttyanti. So while I was dwelling like this, while I was practicing like this, my mind get completely liberated from all this. Nothing else is there. Apart from ditta, sutta, mutta, viññāta, nothing else is there. Now your mind is completely free from all that. While I was practicing like this, so he has explained how he was behaving before he became an arahant. Once he has continued like that for some time, his mind was completely liberated. So basically that's the point. So, I mean, through the practice, once we arrive such a capacity, it is not immediately we are arahants. Remember that. So thinking that I am an arahant now is kind of a foolishness. But because the latent tendencies are there, as you correctly mentioned, latent tendencies are there, you never know when they are coming out. So that's why I instructed, so see the situations. Now you go to a vulnerable place, you see the kind of an instance, you be with the people, you interact with others and see how your mind is reacting. Then only you can see with respect to ditta, with respect to sutta, mutta, viññāta, am I able to maintain this state? Anupayo, anapayo, anissito, appatibaddo, visamyutto, vipamutto, imariyadi katena cetasa viharami. Can I do? Or are you get defiled? Are you get restricted? Are you being attracted? Are you being repulsed? All that. Not easy. Not easy. Please don't think it's easy. Arriving this also not easy. And maintaining this kind of a state amidst all that also is the practice. That is where we really have to strive. So that's the point.
Can I ask further on that?
Yeah.
So say somebody has reached this thoughtless samadhi, and as you said, you go into the society and you find you get agitated. So what do you do? Agitated and, now you in meditation or practice, you find you are in a thoughtless state and a signless state. But in society, still you get agitated, angry.
That indicates the defilements.
Oh, so then what do you suggest, advise, Bhante, how to now, just in that kind of a situation, just being thoughtless again and being there?
No.
Or is there anything
you
that...
need to recognize the defilements.
And then do what?
No, once you are there, that knowing itself would be enough to stop it.
Okay.
Rather than promoting it. So many methods are there. Many techniques are there for you to practice. Aniccanupassi, virāgānupassi, nirodhānupatti, patinissāganupassi. Or say you see sankatang, olarikam, parissaupannang. Or many things are there. You can practice either way. No harm. You can even simply see how I being created, mind being created, and that the kind of self-view has happened, like that kind of sense of I has happened. So all that are quite good. That sense of I, if you are able to trace, that's also a really good part. Because the defilements are promoted because of sense of I. So now say you are trying to maintain emptiness, but say you are in the private bus and the conductor has blamed you. Fine. So how dare he blame me? So immediately the I comes out. So can you recognize this I, the sense of I? So he is an idiot. He should behave like this. He should know how to talk to these passengers. I should complain to this. So I is there. You can recognize this sense of I. And how, you are wearing this nice clothes and you are an upasakamma and now you get into the private bus. Now this idiot never respect you, it blame me like I am such an old, sensible and all that. Can he do like this? So strong me is there. So if you are able to recognize that, oh, what a hell. Then you will simply, again, bruise, no raga, no dosa, moha, because no I. So likewise, so all these are, in a way, we have to be in a way very skillful to use all these difficult situations to our own favor. So don't expect them to, always, put you on the pedestal and praise you for you to become enlightened. Rather, they do the opposite. So we have to pay respect to them to show me that I am not an anagami.
Thank you so much, Bhante. Actually, I wanted that clarification. I was thinking, being in that state over and over again, that you don't get rid of your latent defilements. So,
So actually, not only this space, I have given you simple few examples. Now, there's another sutta called Mogaraja Sutta. The Mogaraja Sutta also, Venerable Mogaraja is asking the question, how to live in the world so that the Mara can't see me. Sunyato loko avekkasu Mogaraja sada sato. Attanu ditting uhaccha evam machu tarosya. So Buddha say, look at the whole world as empty. Empty of a person, empty of a self, including here. So everywhere, empty of a person, empty of a self. Sunyato loko avekkasu Mogaraja sada sato. Mindfully every time. Ever mindful, seeing everywhere as empty. Attanu ditting uhaccha. Now you need to extract the sense of I. Because you have a very clarity in the mind. Now, the point is, you can't know these subtle defilements if your mind is already corrupted. Now you have a very pure background, so that easily you can see how the sense of I is coming out, how I is being created, how mind is created, how the sort of possession, the possessive attitude being created, all that. Because you were in a very clear, empty environment. A subtle drop of ink can be easily seen. Attanu ditting uhaccha evam machu tarosya. And extract this sense of I slowly, then you can be free from the Mara. So many areas actually, not just many areas. So Buddha has highlighted the path, the correct path. So arriving this state is something important. And once we are there, now we need to continue that. So actually I have mentioned this in a different way in the taking one example from Dhatu Vibhanga Sutta. The 4 supports during the retreat at Nissarana, the 4 supports. Panyang Napamajjaya, Satchang Anurakheya, Chagam Anubruheya, Santimeva Sosikheya. Very, very beautiful. First is Panyang Napamajjaya. So you quickly, diligently arrive this wisdom. This is the wisdom. Okay? Arrive this wisdom. And once you are there, now you have some comparatively Nibbana is there. Comparative peace is there. Not yet the perfect. Some Tadanga Nibbute is there. Till you have the support, till you have some wisdom, so some peace is there. Protect that. Satchang Anurakheya. Protect that. This is the temporary Nibbana so far you have earned. Protect that. Satchang Anurakheya. Chagam Anubruheya. That means abandon all the upadis. Using upadis you create I, the sense of I. So various things are there for you to create a self. Many attributes are there to, to safeguard a self, promote a self view. Recognize that and abandon that. Give up all that. Santimeva so sikheya, keep the mind free from defilements. Many beautiful ways. I mean, everything tell the same thing, by the way. Many beautiful different ways that Buddha has instructed the path. Yeah. Okay, 2:15, then we'll wind up since there are no more questions. Oh, you have? Yeah. No. This.
Venerable Bhante, it's on the same topic, but so if it's on that seeing the eye, but if now in my case, so I wouldn't have reached a very high state of wisdom, but there are instances in everyday life you can see that was
eye is coming.
Yeah, totally eye. And you mentioned extract it. Can you explain that further? Because I see the eye, I don't know what to do about it.
I see the eye which I don't want to know. I hate eye. Is
but
that?
No, I mean, so it's
eye,
wrong.
But it's there.
It's there. So how can I deal with that? Like the mamatva.
That's the thing. You need to see it, know it, slowly let it go. Don't promote it. That's it. So panyaya disva asava parikkina honti. You need to see again and again. You don't think that today I have seen it. Should never come again. It may come again. Again we need to see it. That's the problem. So the knowing the defilement once is not enough. We have to see it for 1,000 million times till it will evaporate, completely disappear. So that's why it's taking time. Even though the path is clear, we can't quickly achieve it. Be patient.
So just by seeing and identifying it, it will help. There's nothing.
Definitely. That's right. I mean, you need to recognize it. Once it is there, you need to step back and see how the sense of I is there. Okay, now again it's there. You step back, but don't promote it. Don't even no need to hate it. By simply knowing it, it may slowly weaken and disappear. Because you step back, you are not strengthening it, you are not being fooling it, you are not being fooled by it. Because previously that is not what we did now. Now say for example, someone is praising you. So you become elated, you become really happy, I like that person, I really love that person. Next day also you go to, next day also he put you on the pedestal. So that's why we start associating that person, because he put me on the pedestal. If someone is ignoring you, I never go there. So we love the self-promoted thoughts, we love the self-promoting people, the praising people, everything. But now we see the opposite in a way, how the thoughts are coming, promoting myself, promoting a person, promoting my actions, promoting my skills, this and all that, but slowly keeping it aside. Not necessary now. It's not necessary now. Something like that. So we'll see in the actually the suttas I have selected also talks about the Sakkaya Ditthi. Today I am going to start a new series. So this area is a very interesting area. We'll discuss further. Yeah.
One more question on that emptiness is how can I recognize whether the emptiness is actually part of a wholesome development, something like on the path, or whether it's something I'm doing wrong. Because when I feel the emptiness, I back away from it.
You back away from it?
Yes, I'm uncomfortable with it. So
where you feel comfortable?
I don't want to go. I don't want to go there with the emptiness. So whatever led to the emptiness, I don't proceed with it.
So where you want to keep your mind?
I don't know. but is it, because so I'm wondering, shouldn't if it is on the path, shouldn't the emptiness feel good?
I can't properly hear you.
Sorry. You can hear me now, Bhante?
Uh-huh.
So if it is the emptiness that comes from developing on the path, shouldn't it feel good?
Should, yes.
Yeah. So if
but it appear like not good. That's the point. Because for me to appear like good, so I should be there. So some delight should be there. That's the problem. So now say for example, now say once you are married, so what your husband, what your wife want you to do? Tell you, okay, I love you. Whatever you do, I really love you. Every day I love you, I love you, I love you. Whatever you do, I still love you. My love, my darling. So all that, kind of, you like that. I am there. He really likes me. He really loves me. He every day buys me this and that and telling me you are the best person, really beautiful person. In this whole world, no one is like you. Then you are really uplifted. I really like to hear that. But here, nobody is there. Nobody is there to tell you, and even you are not there. Then how can we say it's a good thing? That's a problem. But we need to, that's why we need faith. That's why we need certain encouragement to be there, to dwell there, because all what we have done is a kind of a self-promotion. So far what we have done is promoting a self-view. We are promoting Sakkayaditthi, that nothing else. Every day, every activity, so far what we have done is promoting Sakkayaditthi, nothing else. So once you arrive the emptiness, nothing is there basically to promote Sakkayaditthi. Even the sense of I is not there. You are utterly free. That freedom is very innocent and there is no body there. So you can't appreciate it. That's why we need to encourage it. That's why the Buddha is there to show us the path. Unless Buddha was there, we never touch it even. We never even want to be there. We think it has a hazard. We think it has a really miserable state. But once you are there, once you are be there for long, long time, there you may slowly understand, okay, there is something. There is something. Okay, there are no defilements, no stress at all, and no defilements at all. And completely the mind has some freedom. I am not hindered at all. There is no any friction. So likewise you start recognizing the positive side while you are there for more and more time. That's why you need to be there. You can learn many books and all that doesn't the important thing. You need to arrive there, you need to dwell there, be there, and while there, so your mind learns. Our old traits, the past habits are now little put aside, but a new strength being developed in your mind, a new path being open to you. Now there's an alternative place for you to stay. And this is a kind of a eye-opening state. So that's why, you need to first come there and stay there. Stay there. Don't be afraid to be there. You let go of your thing and you just dedicate your life to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha and stay there. Jump there, stay there. And then you will understand, okay, there is something. Even though I can't fully understand the benefit, let me go for that. So likewise, we need to encourage ourselves. Otherwise, we never take that risk. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we'll wind up the session and we'll have the Dhamma sermon as usual. There's a little statement. Okay, today there's a little sharing of merits. Today lunch dana was offered by Miss Nilanthi and Nadisha Jayatilaka in view of their birthdays. So wish them happy birthday then. Okay, then we'll wind up this session and we'll have the Dhamma sermon as usual at 4 p.m. Thero Saranai.